sometimes doing this job, you get to speak to people that you've been listening to for like 20 odd years, and it is an absolute honor to welcome to the show someone that I can remember the very first album of theirs that I brought, the moment I brought it. It's Jaret from Bowling for Soup.
It's me. I'm doing it. We're doing it.
Ah, how are you?
Man, I'm doing great. I just got off of a music cruise, which is a basically a floating petri dish. And so I'm a little bit under the weather, but I am hanging in there and and I'm happy to be talking to you.
It's an absolute pleasure. I was working the other day. I think I've been listening to you guys for at least 20 years.
Man, I appreciate that. It's been, I guess we started coming over to the UK and that area in 2000. And so, almost a quarter of a century.
Yeah.
And so, it's very cool to, to be talking to people that are in the industry now, such as yourself, and that have been around the whole time. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but the odd thing is, the first album yours I ever brought was Drunk Enough to Dance, but I brought
Yeah.
it in America.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. I mean, then you got shorted a couple of songs,
Oh,
right? Because
what?
that's back in the days where, which it's not that long ago, where we would you would have to put two extra songs on albums in the UK so that you guys would buy them there because they were cheaper over here, I guess, or something. Anyway, bonus tracks. That's
Okay,
what they
well,
call.
I'm now have to buy another copy. I did not know that. I
Yeah.
did not know
Well,
bring
you
this
just
out.
now you just get on streaming sites and you just go and
I
just
know,
find them.
but I still like buying CDs. I'm
Yeah.
that old. I like
Do
them.
you?
Yeah.
Wow. I don't even have a CD player. If anybody tries to hand me a CD, I just say, just send me the link because I don't want to take that from you because it's just something for me to hold and it's a waste of your money.
I mean, I've got like 900 CDs downstairs.
Yeah. I had that at one point, definitely had like the whole wall of I built like a whole thing and it was just like this whole wall in my studio. It's just CDs and all of that. And then 2003 showed up and Simple Plan showed me the iPod for the first time. And it's just been all downhill for CDs ever since.
Yeah, it has. Um, there's so much I want to ask you. But there's one thing. So the other week you're on another show. A friend of mine, John Mahon. You're on the John Mahon show,
Oh yeah.
and there was something you said which really surprised me, and that was when you were telling a story about playing at Slam Dunk, and that Dexter was watching you side of stage from Offspring. You were like, "Man, it was so weird that those guys who are legends were watching us," and I thought that was
Yeah.
bizarre because I put you at the same sort of level as Offspring.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that from a fan's perspective, but you have to understand, for me, I mean, I was listening to the Offspring in the 90s, before but when they were just a little punk rock band. And they're just massive. And and they've been doing it a long time and they're very good at what they're doing. And that guy is successful in so many other things. And so, it's definitely one of those things. I was thinking about this yesterday. Um, there's this a comedian, or not really a comedian, but like a funny guy that I follow on Instagram. And he put out a meme and I commented on it and he commented back because my joke was really good. And I and I started to think, like I still get that feeling, like I still get the same feeling that you get when somebody comments back to you, it's just I think that's human nature, we just kind of all have our exposures, so like to me it's not going to be a big deal if Derek Wibley is commenting on my things because I've known that guy for 25 years, but
Yeah.
you know Dexter standing side stage watching my show, I'm just like, man, that is pretty damn cool.
Yeah, that's just because I was like in my head, I was like the hierarchy of like pop punk in my mind is like obviously Green Day and Blink, 'cause they're the biggest, and like, but then it was you guys and Offspring. Same, that was the next step down for me anyway. Like in my mind, I was going, wow, I wish you would see yourself that way because you're just awesome. You always have been.
Thank you. Well, again, there's a reason they were headlining
Yeah.
that festival, and we were two bands before them. But you know, I do appreciate that, and you know, I think what's great about this genre is that if anybody were to do their sort of hierarchy, um, you know, you'd almost all have the same bands and just in different orders, you know,
Yeah.
and I think that's it's like that in life, right? I mean, you just have your preferences.
Yeah. There was one thing I wanted to ask because obviously you've been going now like 30 odd years, you guys have been going. So, not necessarily the greatest, but like, what is the first thing that comes to mind? I say, what is one of the best moments that has been for you whilst being in Bowling for Soup? Is it like a show you've played or like a TV thing you've appeared on? Like, what's the one moment you're going on? This is happening because of my band. We're doing this
Right.
because of my band.
Man, it still happens to me. I mean, we still, you know, it's still one of those things where my wife will say to me sometimes, and I say it to my friends, but my wife will just look at me and just go, "Your life is weird," you know, because of the things that we get to do, people that we get to meet, you know, shows we get to play because of the band, you know. But I mean, honestly, there's way too many to name because I mean it's but I will say the first one that I like really remember absolutely just flooring me. Let's go back to CDs since that's topical for this interview. Um we were over for I believe Reading and Leeds Festival. When we did that in 2001, no 2002. We did that. And no, it was 2001. It's our first like time over there. Maybe it was 2000. I don't know. It was a long time.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Whatever the first time, I think it was our very first trip over. So it does have to be it's definitely 2000. So we come over to do Reading and Leeds and excuse me. And you know, okay, we're doing these festivals already, but we had a little time to look around in London and so we did the touristy thing because it's like, you know, you don't know if you're ever coming back there or not. And at the time, you guys had the huge Virgin Megastore.
Yeah.
And I remember walking in there and it was our CD was in like the top 20 CDs and we were on this huge end cap and I was just like, holy crap. Like we're in another country and that's us right there. And there's like more CDs on that wall than I've ever seen in one place in my life, you know? And so we got a camera out to take a picture, and security came over and was just like, "Hey, you can't take photos in here," and which is actually funny in and of itself that people used to think they could control where you took photos because you had to get a camera out. And now, can you imagine that now? And so I was like, "Hey, man, you know, please let us get a picture. I mean, that's us. Like that's us on the cover." And he
Yeah. I
was
mean,
just,
it's
"All right, yeah." He's like, I'm going to let this slide, but I just want to get a picture with you. So somewhere out there, there's a security guard that used to work at the Virgin Mega store who has a picture with Bowling for Soup during this moment. And so yeah, but that's definitely one of those ones where I think about it all the time, what that feeling was like, and we were just so young and and just really didn't we had no idea what was ahead, and still you know to this day that happens to us all the time. We're
yeah.
just like, this is incredible that we just get to experience this.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it is, and it's been going a long time, and
It
we're very
has.
happy it has. We have a friend in common,
Yeah.
and I asked them for a question, and I hope I've not been screwed over. So it's Frank Turner, right?
Okay.
So I said, "Can you give me a question to ask Jaret?" And he
Okay.
went, "Yes." He said, "Ask him when is he going back to the metal?"
I love it. That's a perfect question. So we're always trying to get back to the metal. So that's the Frank Turner and I were having a conversation online. He did a is during the lockdown portion of COVID. And I hope for your viewers and listeners, I did mention I'm under the weather, right? So I
Yeah.
apologize for all of the coughing. Um but I asked him, I was just doing these lives on Instagram. It's kind of a new thing and so we got on this thing and I was just like, let's talk about metal. And he was like, hell yeah, let's talk about metal. And we ran out of time and we never got back to the metal. but we kept going, let's get back to the metal. And so after that week, he was like, let's just do this next week. And we did that for over a year. Every single Tuesday, we talked on Instagram at, I believe it's 4 o'clock my time. I can't quite remember. It seems about right. Maybe two. And we called the show Back to the Metal. And we just literally got on Instagram every single week and just talked. It became it was very fun, and became and developed quite a fun relationship between he and I. And just he's just a lot of fun, that guy. He's and again, one of my favorite artists of this generation, easily.
Yeah, I mean, I could talk about how much I love Frank for a very long time.
But he's like, it's so funny because I have three distinct band tattoos, and I'm friends with all three bands, which I'm not sure that everybody that has band tattoos could say that, but I actually have a Frank Turner hand tattoo. And
Nice.
so it's one of those things where I'm just like, is it weird, that like that we're bros, but like I have you tattooed on me, but that's how much his music means to me. I mean, despite again, being such a great guy, if I didn't know him, uh I would still just be such a massive fan, because I think he's just such a poet, and such an incredible songwriter. And he is and now what's funny is, when I first met him, gosh, I guess it's been, 6 or 8 years ago. That's maybe longer than that. I don't know. But when I did meet him, he's done so much since. He just kind of now he's kind of doing that thing where he keeps reinventing himself, and when artists do that, like, I'm just like, that's so cool, that you just have that ability to be able to do that. And but anyway, I could, again, this whole interview could be based around Frank Turner, for, I guess, for both of us, but
Yeah,
we should get back to the metal.
we should. I'm glad when he said me that, I was like, please don't be like, you just go, why did you ask that? Like,
How funny would that have been, though?
it would have been a good do-over. Obviously, kind of linking into Frank, because he featured on one of your country tracks. I was kind of wondering, have you ever thought, because I know you're doing country shows in the US, have you ever thought about, when you're over here with Bowling for Soup, ever just maybe doing a one-off Jaret country show? I think it'd be awesome.
So we did that. I am so sorry. We did that a couple of tours ago, actually. We finished a tour, and Rob and I stayed, and we did three Jarrett country shows. And we actually had the band from over there, Gasoline and Matches, who is a country band who I love very much, be our backing band. And we had a blast. It was great. Since then, it's just been so busy. It's been very hard to do that. It's like right now, like coming over, we're only over, I guess, for 6 or 8 shows, but we have to come right back because Rob and I will be on tour with the country band all of March here in Texas. And so it will happen again. As far as me playing some country shows over there, it really is just all timing.
Yeah.
It's this 2024, especially, such a busy year for Bowling for Soup. 30 years of us being a band, 20 years of Hangover You Don't Deserve, and full US tour, at least 2 trips to the UK. In that, we're about to do this tour, and then we've got
Oh,
Download.
yeah, down.
It's just and then a full US tour. Did I already say that?
Yeah.
Anyway, it's
It's,
crazy.
it's it's a lot of touring for you guys
A
this
lot of
year.
touring.
I
Plus
love the fact that
Canada. Yeah.
it's 30 years on and it's still just as hectic. It's a nice place to be.
You know, um, from that perspective, we do more business now than we ever have as far as tickets. More people come see us now in every market that we play than ever, even the heyday. And um it, again, 30 years in, it's remarkable. I mean, it's a testament to so many things. And I won't take away from the work that we've put in ourselves, but I feel like that's just sort of a given. But what I will say is, there's just a loyalty to our fan base, and I think that lends itself to, people such as yourself, having kids, and those kids are listening to Bowling for Soup, and um and they're coming to shows, and now we're at like three generations that are coming to shows, and it's just it's unreal as I look out there every night and I just see the faces, and it's it's not it's all generations, it's all walks of life, it's all just people who love coming together and who happen to like our songs.
Yeah, and you've got your biggest ever UK headline show, Cardiff, in a few
Yeah.
weeks.
Yeah, we have our biggest ever. Yeah, I
Biggest
mean,
ever, not just UK.
yeah, ever.
Wow.
Biggest headline show ever. I mean, not counting festivals.
Yeah,
And it's crazy because that show started out as being capped at like half the room, and then they opened it up to more, and they were like, well, now we'll just open it up to everybody and see what happens. And I told my manager, I go, I just want to try and sell the damn thing out. And I remember Frank Turner doing this at Wembley Arena. I remember many, many years ago. We're back to Frank. We're back to the metal. But um, you'll have to tell him that this happened, that we just
yeah,
kept doing it. But he did a thing where he played Wembley Arena, and I'll never forget it. It was like it was sort of out of the realm of where he was, at least in his mind, and he did it. He sold it out, and I think that was my thinking on it. I was like, man, why don't we just tell our fans, like, hey, we really want to sell this out. Everybody come, let's do this thing. And everybody sort of rallied, and it happened.
yeah,
And I mean, it's officially sold out. So I can't. I'm blown away, and I absolutely cannot wait because we've played that room before, but we've never played it completely full. So I'm excited.
yeah. It's going to be an amazing show.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Something I always like to do is I like to play a little game with guests. So the game is very simple. It's called Streamy Streamy. Say that you stream me. It's essentially it's higher or lower, but with obviously your songs.
Okay.
So the starting one is almost, which is 63 million. So that's the starting number.
And you're
So
saying do I think that the actual number is higher or lower?
oh no, so the next song I'm going to give you another song, and you got to say whether that song is higher
Oh,
or
okay,
lower.
okay, go.
So we're starting at almost, which is 63 million. Then we're
Okay.
going to High School Never Ends. Is that higher or lower than 63 million?
It's higher.
Oh, that was quick. And yes, that's right. We're at 98 million for that one. I mean, I've rounded these a little bit because I,
Okay.
I did want to say the 98 million, 100, but yeah. So
Yeah.
we're going from 98 million to Girl the Bad Guys Want.
Is lower.
Yes, I was quite surprised. I thought that was going to be
Yeah.
higher. There's 92 million, so it's not that much lower.
Yeah. After this game, I'll tell you why I know all this. Or the high school never ends part. I'll tell you a story. Go ahead.
Okay, right. So we got 1985.
Higher.
Yeah, 312 million. That's a very impressive number.
Yeah.
And then we go on to, I think the song that kind of really made you explode over here, the Bitch song.
Right. Lower.
Yes, 2.8 million, which I think that's because of the age of it and streaming wasn't around. And then
100.
this is my favorite Bowling for Soup song, Emily. Higher or lower than 2.8 million?
Lower.
Yes, 1.9. You're doing well. I mean, normally there's a gift, but in America and I'm here, so there is no gift I can give. But then we're going on to my second favorite Bowling for Soup song, Turbulence. Higher or lower than Emily?
Lower.
Yes, 820,000. And then we're going on to, which I think was one of the best songs of the last few years, I Want to Be Brad Pitt. Higher or lower than Turbulence?
I think that's lower.
No, it's the first one you got wrong. That's
Wow.
990,000.
Wow.
And that is a top tier song. Then we're going from I Want to Be Brad Pitt to Iran, So Far Away.
Higher.
Yes, 15 million. Then Punk Rock 101.
Higher.
Yes. And then on to the last one. So we're going from 18 million, which is Punk Rock 101, to Ohio. Come back to Texas.
Oh shit. This is hard. Uh I'm gonna guess. Here's the problem: Punk Rock 101 and Ohio, or Punk Rock 101 has been splitting its streams because there's the greatest hits version out there. Um, I'm gonna go lower.
Maybe rethink that.
I'll go higher then.
Yeah. Yes, higher for 24 million for Ohio.
Yeah.
So what's the story behind High School Never Ends then?
Well, the High School Never Ends thing is crazy because it's our second biggest song. And definitely people go crazy over it whenever we play it live and stuff. But that song wasn't a hit. I mean, it should have been, and that's just it. But the record company bailed on it. It was crossing the year, and they thought "When We Die" was supposed to be the single, and so, uh, the head of Universal, who was there for a long, long time, said that bailing out on High School Never Ends was one of the biggest mistakes he ever made in his career because he was just like that. Probably in his mind would have been bigger than 1985 had they followed through with it.
Yeah,
But I don't. For me, it's such a it's a win because I was just like, guys, you're making a big mistake. Like this song is huge, and you know it. And but anyway, the fans made it so, and so just a little glimpse into my world there.
yeah. I mean, yeah, amazing song, and all your songs are amazing. But I really want to like when I said like Brad, I want to be Brad Pitt. When that came out, that like I kind of get lazy with bands, and like especially now with streaming, I just have playlists all made up, and then I never really refresh them that often. Then that song came out, and I was like, man, I need to redo a deep dive into Bowling for Soup
Right.
because it's just an epic track.
Yeah. Well, thank you, man. Yeah, it's such a simple song. I mean, my wife came in the day that I wrote that and I played her the demo and she just laughed and said, "You're crazy." And so I took that as being like, okay, it's a good song.
Yeah, it's just a what's in the box. I was like, yes,
Yeah,
100%.
exactly.
Perfect mix of stupidity and movies and music,
Yeah,
which is the greatest combination.
that is life, right?
Yeah, you've got to enjoy it. And that's, I think, what is so much fun about Bowling for Soup. This is just a lot
Absolutely.
of fun.
I agree.
Also, there's one thing, it was when you're on the John Mahon show again, you were saying about how songwriting and things like that. And you're saying that when it comes to like Bowling for Soup, you try and keep things every, happy, light and all that. And then you do occasionally do the sadder songs like Turbulence and things like that. And I think they are so much more impactful coming from someone like you because I think a lot of people see themselves in you because like they're happy, they like music and stuff. But then there's also everyone's always got something going on. And then when you come out with the sadder songs, it's just like,
Right.
yes, I completely connect and understand.
Yeah, I think I never thought about that before. In the way that you just put it, it's actually never thought about that. Maybe it does hit a little harder when it comes from somebody like me because people are so used to me being happy and fun and carefree, and then when I do show my feelings, they're like, okay, yeah, see, like this is everybody. And I think maybe that, so this is a good segue, but maybe that's why my focus on mental health has hit home to so many people because I am a happy guy and I do seem like a happy guy and I and all of that, but depression and anxiety are something that I deal with every day. And so I feel like people see that and go, "Oh my God, okay, well, maybe there's not something wrong with me. Maybe this is just something that people have to deal with sometimes." And so yeah, I mean, maybe turbulence, when we die, where to begin, things like that do hit a little harder coming from us because um, the next song is Brad Pitt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's yeah, so yeah, I appreciate you putting it like that. I honestly never thought about it that way.
No, well, I love it because I love music. It's my number one passion in life, and like my favorite band is Radiohead. So they are obviously very sad most of the time. So it's nice to when you listen to like you guys, Blink, Green Day, really upbeat all the time. And then when you do those sad songs, it's like yes, I completely get it. I understand. It's just yeah, I think it's beautiful.
Yeah. Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
So obviously yeah, so like you said, we've got the biggest show of yours in the
Yeah.
UK. Well, actually, in the whatever coming up very soon. We've got the tour, and also you're doing more touring. Is that kind of it for 24? Because it does seem to be like every post on bottom of his page, is like here's another tour announcement. Here's some more
Yeah.
dates. Here's some more dates.
Right.
Like, are you just non-stop from now until the end of the year?
Yeah, nonstop because in between, I'm doing country. I'm releasing a new country record as well. All of that's focused here in and around Texas. But musically, it'll be out everywhere. And don't let the term country scare you. I've said this to everybody, and I think most people agree. If you like my stuff with Bowling for Soup, you're gonna dig the country thing. It's it's not twangy, and I'm not talking about my jeans, and it's still me. But yeah, a big year of touring and celebrating 30 years of Bowling for Soup and 20 years of Hangover You Don't Deserve, and um, a lot of that this year. And then maybe next year start to think about new music and from Bowling for Soup and looking towards 35 years.
It's a milestone that you're going to easily get to. And like I always said about if you like bowling soup, you'll like your country stuff. Because I kind of, again, we're going back to Frank, but because he featured on the track, he posted up and I was like, oh, I'll check this out. I really like the track. I think it was quite cool. And I've
Yeah.
actually listened to a few more of the country tracks and gone, yeah, it's not what, like I've got this weird, I think, especially in the UK, we have this weird perception of country music being
Yeah.
just like that, ding, 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 like not what you
Uh,
actually make is.
yes, that's not what I make. What I make is you've heard it on Bowling for Soup Records. It's
Yeah.
the country stuff that we already do. I just kind of took it a little bit more to the serious side of actually being a thing.
It's going to be an amazing year for you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Jaret, for your time. Like this has been ridiculous honor for me. Like I said, I've been listening to you for 20 years. Like I was like, what, 14, 15 when I first started listening to you guys, and to speak to you now is unreal. So
Thank you,
thank you so
Simon. And
much.
thank you for altering your schedule for me
Right.
and to everybody else, I sound terrible right now so that I can sound amazing whenever I get over there. So
Yeah,
see you soon.
awesome. Thank you so much again. And yeah, we'll see you very, very soon in Cardiff.
See you, brother.
Cheers. Thank you.